Distractions. Distractions. Have you ever helped an older person with a computer before? I was showing this very dear older person with something online one time. I was showing a video, I think it was, and I was clicking through, and they're watching they're trying to pick up what I'm doing, right? Because I'm clicking, and the mouse is going over, and screens are flashing, and they're trying to keep up a little bit, I think, over my shoulder. And finally, I've come to the video I wanted to show them, and I click play, and we're watching the video, and we're going for a while into this thing that I think is so valuable, and I want them to see. And then they go, "You won." I said, "What?" I'm looking. "What? You won? Look, you won. Where are you looking?" You know? And they're looking, and there's a banner off to the side that says, "You've just won." And I didn't even see it. Why? What do you mean I've won? No, that's just an ad. But it says no, I did. We won nothing. Watch the video. Why is it like that? Why can we be so distracted? I was talking with one of my friends one time, long time ago, but it stuck in my head. He was telling about his mom and how she was working, she needed something done on the computer, and she saw another banner, and it said, your computer has a virus. Download this program now. Da, 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 da. And she said, "Well, we have to download the program." And she said, "No, you don't have a virus." And so we were talking about this. Well, how come parents and older people, they just don't get it? And he said, "I think it's because of this. When they're looking, when we are looking at, those of us in the technology age, when we're looking at the video, we see the video. But for people not used to it, they still see the screen. They still see the screen." Pray with me. Father, God, we want to see you. Help us to keep our eyes on you. Amen. So when I was a teenager, I would follow this show that my mom, she didn't want me to watch. It was a Voyager. Star Trek is science fiction, and they have those weird foreheads, right? So they're just like, I don't know about that. And hi, Mom, she's watching. So I couldn't watch the show I had while my mom was there, so I'd sneak. Did you ever do that when you were growing up? You snuck and you watched that program or the late night show or something that you weren't supposed to watch. Well, Voyager was ending. I forget what year it was, but it was ending. I think I was like junior, senior in high school, and this show that I had loved, that I followed, and all the experiences they had, and the adventures, and the character development, and just following the show, it was ending. It was a season. It was not just a season finale. It was a series finale. 2-hour series finale. And I asked my mom, I work at the Courage, "Can I watch this show? Can I please watch the show? Please, I'll do anything. I'll just want to watch the show. It's not bad. It's really good. They're good at it." And then she said no. Oh, I was devastated. That night, I remember it was a Wednesday night, 10 p.m., stayed up till 10 p.m., and I went into one of, I guess, I don't know where I kept it, in my sock drawer, but I pulled this baby out. This bit of technology right here. This is state of the art in those days. No, kids, this is not an outdated iPhone, although I have that too. It's something that your parents used to call a TV. It's kind of like a computer, but it doesn't really do anything. And so, look, it takes AA batteries. Is this not cool or what? It's 2.2 inches screen. that is some fancy stuff, right? And you got this thing right here, it gets the reception if you don't know what it is, and you have to hold it up just right, and you can watch in this very pixelated screen. And so I sat there, and just in case I was under the covers, just in case my mom came in, I was a teenager, but still, hi, Mom. So she probably, I don't know if I'd ever told her this story. And I was under the covers watching with earphones this finale, the final, how all the characters I'd been following, how they find everything concluded. 2 hours like this under my bed covers. So like this is how I watch, and because I realized how silly it was, and I told friends and other people that this is how I watch the season finale of Voyager. And they say, how can you see anything on that screen? Where there's a will, there's a way. And I just was enthralled with this. It's easy for some people to get confused between two things, between the show and how you're watching it. It's easy to confuse something valuable with a thing that is carried to you on or in. For instance, a wedding ring. It's kind of a silly illustration, but you have, if for those of you who are married, you've got this ring, and it symbolizes your marriage. And so when you say your spouse is kind of getting to you a little bit, you go, oh, I'm married. I love this person. I made the commitment. I am married. And then some people, they take the opposite extreme and they say, well, I don't got no ring on this finger. I can do what I want. Can you? Can you really? And so we have this symbol of marriage represented by this ring, with it or without it, and we think that it somehow symbolizes, that it not just symbolizes, but it embodies our relationship. Sometimes for friendships, we feel that we have a friendship maybe because we've shared our deepest, darkest secret with someone. And so then we think, oh, they're my best friend then. Or maybe you have friendship bracelets or something like that. Or maybe you're just friends on Facebook, so you think, oh, then we're friends for sure, because friends on Facebook, that's pretty serious. In Hebrews 9, it's talking a bit about this sacrificial system that was in the days of the Israelites, that when God was leading his people. He set up this system where there would be rams and lambs that would be killed to take away sin, to make someone fit in order to come before God. And when you're in that kind of system, this symbol, this activity, this ritual, it represents, it functions as the way that you cleanse yourself from the things that you've done wrong, the things that are keeping you from God. And so if I sin, then I'm going to take this lamb, I'm going to take this goat, and I'm going to sacrifice it, so that way I can be right with God again. Now, over the generations, as this ritual continued to be passed on from parent to child, that symbol, that, okay, here you go, here's the lamb, here's the ram, here's these things that this is what you asked for, God, so I'm going to give it to you. This act, this symbol, began to embody the thing it overshadow the thing that it represented. To where if you say a wedding ring, if you take it off, are you no longer married? No. Some people act like that, though. So you've got this symbol of forgiveness that is then taking the complete focus away from God and onto this symbol. But can the blood of a goat take away your sin? Can the death of something else really take your what you've done wrong? Can a gift take away the things that are separating you from God? In Hebrews 9, verse 11, it says, "But when Christ appeared as a high priest," someone representing the people before God, a priest of the good things that have come, "then through the greater and more perfect tent, he entered once for all into the holy places, not by means of blood of goats and calves, but by means of his own blood, thus securing eternal redemption. For if the blood of goats and bulls and the sprinkling of defiled persons with the ashes of a heifer sanctify, how much more will the blood of Christ?" These symbols are valuable, but Christ, the fulfillment of the symbols, is so much greater. Sometimes in the church, those of you who have been raised in Christianity and in Adventism, you can look at something like a white shirt, a nicely ironed white shirt, and a pretty dashing tie. You can look at these things and you can say, wow, that guy must have it all together. That guy must be pure. That guy must be holy. And that's what you want to see in the church. You can sit in the pew and you can think that coming to church faithfully is an acceptable and faithful service to God. That is your service to God, that you have showed up, that you have attended, and you have done it faithfully since you were a kid. But if you think that white shirts and ties and polished shoes and sitting in the pew, all these things are holiness and perfection, then you're still seeing the screen. You still see the screen instead of Jesus. Because Jesus, he got dirty, he got messy. He worked with the ugly and the diseased. He worked with the sinful and the rejected out there. Maybe you've come to church with that mentality, thinking that this place is going to be your salvation, that this is how you are going to serve God, is by being here. Or maybe your experience is completely different. Maybe you've stayed away from church. Maybe you've rejected faith and organized religion because of problems, or because of hurt, or because of disappointment or discouragement. Maybe you've rejected the church because of those things. And I'll tell you that you also only still see the screen. We have become so satisfied with tiny screens and poor resolution and staticky connections in our lives. We've become satisfied with this sad connection that we have. But through this, when we see the screen, we can no longer see the story. We can no longer follow this incredible story that's going on right here in this place, that's going on inside of this book, that's going on outside of these walls. We lose sight of that story and we start focusing on the screen. But Jesus, he stepped into our reality, not just augmented reality, not just to augment our lives, but he became our reality, a reality that is not so easy to see, a story that can only be discerned when you're a part of it. And so my question to you is, how do you get lost in a film? How do you get lost in a story that is so great that you're willing to sacrifice for, stay up late for, pour your energy into, be dedicated to? How do you get lost in a story like that? One, you turn off all the other lights, because there are so many. You eliminate as many distractions as you can so you can see through the screen. You block out time devoted to this story, and you look past the screen. You make sure it's connected to the power source, and you keep your eyes on the story. There's a symbol in Christianity that Jesus started. It's a symbol of communion. It's a ritual that has bread and it has grape juice. It has these two things to represent something very powerful. And some people have taken those things to be the end all, that if I take these, I'm good. Instead of seeing that it represents something, someone greater. When we do this ritual, when we take care of this, when we do this ceremony inside of this space, it's much more than just bread and wine. It's something powerful, and it's something that can consume us, that we can get lost in.